Please subscribe to our channel for more nature stories, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Morning rises slowly over Florida's hidden heart, a place few travelers ever see. The mist curls like smoke above the Silver River, carrying the scent of wet leaves and distant rain. Sunlight slides between ancient oaks and cypress trees, glimmering on the water like a trail of molten gold. Somewhere in that shimmer, a soft rustle stirs the canopy, branches sway, a shadow leaps, and suddenly the forest comes alive with motion. Dozens of small, furred shapes bound through the treetops, their cries sharp, quick, and bright as laughter. Monkeys. Real, wild monkeys, living, breathing, thriving right here in America's own backyard. They move with the confidence of a people who belong. Mothers cradle infants against their bellies, young ones chase each other across branches slick with dew, and older males perch like sentinels, surveying their leafy kingdom. Beneath them, the river drifts past, smooth and silent except for the dip of a turtle or the splash of a fish. It is a scene that feels lifted from another continent, perhaps the jungles of India or the mountains of Thailand, but this is Central Florida, just a few miles from quiet highways and picnic areas where families spend their weekends. Most who visit never realize that in this forest, nature has written a story stranger than fiction. Nearly a century ago, the first chapter began with a man named Colonel Tui, a showman with a dream. He captained a small riverboat on the Silver River during the 1930s, when adventure movies filled theaters and the word jungle meant wonder and danger all at once. Hoping to lure more tourists, he brought a few rhesus macaques from a wildlife supplier and released them on an island near his attraction. What he didn't know, or perhaps didn't mind, was that macaques are excellent swimmers. Within days, they crossed the river. Within weeks, they vanished into the surrounding woods. And within years, their descendants had carved out a home all their own. Now, generations later, their descendants still leap through those same trees. They are Florida natives in every sense but ancestry, wild survivors shaped by sun, rain, and time. Their fur glows with reddish light where the sun strikes it, and their dark eyes reflect the shimmering water below. They have learned to live off this land, feeding on figs, acorns, berries, and insects. Some sit by the water's edge, sifting through leaves in search of small crustaceans. Others forage among the roots, their quick hands as nimble as a child's, opening seed pods or digging for grubs. In doing so, they scatter the seeds of countless plants, ensuring the forest grows thicker each season. Unwittingly, they have become gardeners of the wild, a foreign species turned caretaker of a native land. From a kayak gliding downriver, a visitor might glimpse them for only a second, a flick of a tail, the flash of a curious face before it disappears behind the leaves. The forest swallows sound quickly here. The cries of the troop blend with the songs of mockingbirds and the splash of fish, creating an orchestra of wilderness that never truly stops. To watch them is to feel something ancient stir inside, the reminder that even in the most modern corner of our country, there are still pockets of mystery, places where nature carries on its quiet work. The river itself seems to hold the memory of their journey. Beneath its calm surface lie the reflections of history, of explorers who once paddled these same waters, of native tribes who called this place home, of animals whose tracks are now fossilized in limestone. And above it all, the monkeys move like dancers in a green cathedral, each leap between branches an act of faith. They do not know the story of how they arrived, or why their ancestors were brought here. They only know that this forest hums with life, and that every dawn offers fruit, shelter, and the call of family. There is something undeniably human in the way they live. A mother sits with her infant, grooming its tiny hands, her gaze soft and patient. Nearby, two juveniles squabble over a piece of fruit, their shrill cries breaking into laughter as one gives up the prize. The troop gathers around a fallen log, grooming each other in an intricate pattern of trust and hierarchy. Their world is a society, ordered, emotional, intelligent. Scientists who study them speak of their social bonds, of alliances formed and broken, of affection expressed through touch. Watching them, one can't help but feel that they mirror us more closely than we often admit. The air grows heavy as noon approaches. Cicadas scream from the trees, and the river glints white under the sun. A large male sits in the shade, his face solemn, the fur on his shoulders silvered with age. He yawns, revealing long canine teeth, then closes his eyes and listens to the sounds of his troop. He has likely seen many seasons here, many floods and hurricanes, yet still he endures. Survival in this place depends on understanding rhythm, the rise and fall of weather, the abundance and scarcity of food, the delicate peace between the wild and the human world. Occasionally, a tourist's voice echoes from the water. The monkeys go still, watching from the canopy. Their curiosity is tempered by caution. They have learned that humans are unpredictable, some toss fruit, others chase or shout. Long ago, when visitors fed them regularly, the monkeys grew bold, approaching boats and picnic tables. But over time, feeding bans were introduced, and the troops retreated deeper into the forest. Now they live mostly unseen, wild again, their survival dependent on the gifts of nature rather than the whims of people. When the rains arrive, the jungle changes. The river swells, flooding its banks. The air smells of damp earth and thunder. In those moments, the forest feels almost primeval, like the world before cities. The monkeys huddle beneath broad leaves, their fur slick with rain, their babies pressed close. Lightning flashes across the sky, illuminating their silhouettes against the trembling trees. For a heartbeat, it feels like the past and present collide, Florida's modern world and an ancient rhythm older than memory itself. As the storm passes, steam rises from the ground, and the forest sings again. The monkeys venture out, calling to one another with high, lilting cries that echo between the trees. They leap once more, their movements sure and fluid, as though the storm had been only a passing dream. Beneath them, fish ripple through the flooded roots, and herons stalk the shallows. Everything in this landscape is alive, woven together in quiet harmony. What fascinates those who study them isn't just that they've survived, it's how completely they've adapted. Born from ancestors who once lived among Himalayan peaks and Indian temples, these monkeys now flourish among Florida's pines and palms. They've learned new diets, new predators, new seasons. Even their behavior has evolved. They forage differently, travel differently, and communicate with calls that seem to have shifted in tone, shaped by this new world.